The brand
Sure.
today, Tommy Hilfiger, how
Yep.
many stores, how big is it?
We have approximately 2,000 stores in the world, and we will do about 10 billion in retail sales globally. And I started out as a teenager with $150 and 20 pairs of jeans with one shop.
Please welcome the amazing man, Mr. Tommy Hilfiger.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, now everybody pull your pants down and show Tommy what you're wearing. I have to ask you, when you see, hypothetically,
Yeah.
right, your name's Tommy Hilfiger, and you see people, like this is your name, there's the logo, but when you see people wear your name proudly, does it still excite you? Does it still say, like, isn't that crazy? Like, I just started off with this vision, and next thing you know, like, people are wearing my name.
It makes me proud, but I always find maybe a little fault with it as a perfectionist. I look at that and say,
hold on.
That's missing the flag. We should have the red, white, and blue flag on that one. And if
I think it's right here.
but it's not big enough. We need a bigger one on the chest. So
Well, I can't
next
help
time we
anything here,
design
Tommy.
that,
I mean,
we're going to give you a flag with it.
Okay, so man, it was very. This one was very. I was telling Tommy backstage. I was in New Zealand, and it was cold. It was like rainy. And some of you at that same event, you came here, you saw me, and then I went and I needed something because it was rainy and cold. And I walk in and I take a picture of Tommy, hey, and I say, hey, I'm in New Zealand and there's a store. And he's like, great, thumbs up probably. So I walk into the store and I'm looking at this thing, and it says like 280, like almost 400 Kiwi dollars, which is like 280 US. I'm like, damn, that shit is expensive. And I'm like, I know Tommy Hilfiger, and she goes, sir, everyone says they know Tommy Hilfiger here. So that discount did not work that day. But let's talk about overall. The brand
Sure.
today, Tommy Hilfiger, how
Yep.
many stores, how big is it?
Okay, we have approximately 2,000 stores in the world, and we will do about 10 billion in retail sales globally. And I started out as a teenager with $150 and 20 pairs of jeans with one shop in Elmira, New York, my hometown. So while I was still in high school, I opened a shop selling jeans. And then it was my dream to have my own brand. So through lots of trials and tribulations, it eventually became the brand. And it started growing in the US, and we opened a store in London, and then in Paris, and then in Milan. And now the business is bigger in Europe than it is in the States. But it's all over. I mean, we have it in China, in India, in South America, Central America, Indonesia, all over the world.
So when you started and you said to Tommy Hilfiger, this is what I want the brand to stand.
Yeah.
How many years has it been now?
We're going on 40.
Okay.
We're at 38 and a half years now.
Say 38 years later, is it exactly what you thought it would stand, or it has morphed into something because maybe something worked, or
Yeah.
it's different? So explain the difference. So when I started, this was my vision for what I wanted and to where it is today, to see if there's been any deviation of the brand or just an amazing alignment from day one.
I always wanted the brand to be accessible, great quality, casual, fun, youthful, and sort of preppy with a twist. Because I think that's what people wear. People wear classics, but they want special classics. And that's what I set out to do. And I have never veered from that.
So
At times, we crank it up for the runway, for a fashion show, and make it even more special, but that's a limited audience. Most people buy classics, but special classics from us.
So sometimes people see the fashion show and whatever they have in the fashion show, the model working down, it's not really something that people will buy. It's almost like a concept car. With you, when there's a collection, I've seen the pictures, and it ends up in the stores as well. What's the reasoning with some people saying, let me have some clothes that ultimately I'm not going to put into the store? Like, as opposed to you, it's like, okay, this is a commercial. I like it on the model. I see it in the store. Why are there some brands where the clothes that they've showcased is not really in the store?
It's like when Mercedes puts out a concept car. They probably will never build it, but it just shows that Mercedes is innovative. So it's almost like putting something out on the runway that will entice the consumer into embracing the brand, but many of those runway looks will ever arrive on the selling floor.
And so the concept of Tommy Hilfiger, I've never seen something, oh my God, that's outrageous, I would never wear that, or that's crazy, right? It's like you said, it seems to be for everyday people. What's the idea of doing something so outrageous? You know, you see the large dress and they're just over the top. Is that an attention thing? Like from a business standpoint of marketing, what's the marketing of putting something like the Lady Gaga meat dress? I'm giving you an idea, right? It's so outrageous.
Well, it's a marketing thing. And a lot of designers want to be perceived as artists. And they don't even try to make clothes that people will really wear because they look at it as art. And those clothes are usually super, super expensive. But I'm a business builder. I like the idea of being a creative person with a business mind. And I blend the two.
Where did the business mind? Because a lot of creative people are very creative, but they don't understand the business component. For example, if it's going to cost too much of this, we need to sell it to someone, right? So where did the business acumen come from?
Well, I had a bankruptcy when I was 22 years old as a result of overexpanding my first retail venture. And I didn't really understand the business. But as a result of that, which was, I look at it as my master's degree, because I never went to college. I started my business, as I said, out of high school. I never went to college. So I looked at that as my master's degree of having a bankruptcy, because what it taught me was what not to do. And then I taught myself how to really understand the business part of the business. And recently I opened a Tommy Hilfiger fashion business school as part of Elmira College in my hometown. And it's about the business of fashion, because most of the fashion schools teach design and the artistic part, the creative part, but they don't teach anything about the business. So sadly, these graduates go out and fail most of the time when they start their own businesses, because they don't know anything about the business.
So you noticed this shirt didn't have, let's say, a bigger flag or this. Let's say there's 1,000 new pieces, how many of them will you actually see at this point in your life, maybe comparison to maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago?
I used to, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I would see just about everything.
Because you were overly controlling, or that was just your process to ensure quality?
Well, we had a system whereby all the designs would run by my eyes. And now, since we've moved our design studios to Amsterdam, and I will see what I choose to see. Like I'll say, show me the menswear for fall 24. Show me what you're doing for women's wear for fall 24. I want to see ahead so I can make my critique as early on as possible, so my designers and my team won't tell me it's too late to change.
So a lot of brands that are tied to something happens to you or you pass away, like the brand kind of dies, right? Because it's Tommy Hilfiger, it's your vision, Tommy goes, it goes. But you've built a global organization that whether you step down or not, this will be around for another 100 years.
Yeah.
The logo is very recognizable. and the name is recognized, which is usually in fashion. Like I can't even think of what a Calvin Klein logo looks like. The writing, but I know this logo when I see it.
Yeah.
So if it even wasn't Tommy Hilfiger, but also we know the name. How were you able, was that in a part of the plan to saying, how does it outlast me so that when I stop designing or if I don't design, to build that into something that's sustainable, that'll last another century?
Well, it was always my motive to create a logo that would be able to stand on its own. So initially, the flag had my name in it. And in 1987, I saw Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, take his name Nike off the swoosh. And I said, that's my goal, to be able to take my name off the flag and have the flag stand for Tommy Hilfiger. And my goal was to hope that everyone would know the flag and relate to the flag. So that's our biggest asset, the logo. And I can put it on anything and sell anything. I could put it on
My ties.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah. Put it on your ties.
Collaboration.
You'd be competing with our neckties, and I think that our PVH necktie manufacturers would not like that.
I don't know what PVH is, but I agree that we should collaborate. So I'm going to ask you, so I'm sure having a business mind, you look at other brands and other businesses, and we take a look at, the Louis Vuittons, the Hermes in Europe, from passed on from family to family to family. And so we can understand from a business standpoint, why are these luxury brands there? So expensive, stand out, worth billions. Bernard Arnault, one of the second or third richest man in the world. And my follow-up question would be, I know you're trying to make this brand for everyone, but knowing your business brand, if you had to create the Tommy Hilfiger, like super ultra luxurious Louis Vuitton Hermes, what would you do, knowing everything that you know?
Well, that's an interesting question. I've thought about it before. I've thought about it many times, actually. This is premium. There's luxury, there's premium, there's more mass, and then there's fast fashion, like Zara, H&M, Gap, companies like that.
What's Amazon Basics?
I would say that it's more like mass.
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 Like cheap mass, no brand, no logo, who cares? Cheapest is what I want.
Right. So it's a big marketplace.
Yeah, it's huge.
But you can't build the quality into it, and it doesn't have style. But a premium brand is a brand that is a little bit of a reach to some people, but it is affordable luxury, you could say. Hermes, Vuitton, Prada, Gucci are luxury brands, and they're in their own stratosphere, you could say. I mean, a pair of pants could be $2,000.
How much would that cost? Knowing what things cost, that $2,000, what does it really cost? Approximately, if you had to guess.
300.
300.
Yeah.
And what is it that makes it? You're talking about a $1,700 premium. Now, you can say the Apple has a premium, but it's not $1,700. What is it that they have to do?
It could be the fabric. It could be the fabric.
Because it's exclusive and it's not everywhere?
Well, a lot of the Italian fabrics are made with a cashmere blend or some sort of type of yarns that are expensive.
But here's the thing, a person here who takes the same material, puts their name on it, does not get even $300 for it, let alone $2,000. So what is it in the marketing that they do that just...
Well, it's very elite, exclusive marketing, but most of these brands sell more handbags and accessories than they do clothes.
Oh, wow.
So...
Birkin bag.
The handbags are, some of the Birkin bags are, $100,000 for a handbag.
Wow.
And you could then sell it in the aftermarket for even more. A lot of the Gucci bags are in the thousands, Pradas. They're luxury. Is there really a difference between a Mercedes and a Cadillac? A little bit. It's German made, and it's made with real precision, and the Cadillac is American made, so the quality isn't there. But
The positioning?
I think the positioning, but I think the marketing has a lot to do with it.
But if you had to create a brand, so you and I started a business called Le Tommy. You know, it looks French, it sounds French.
Yeah.
And what would be that item that you do, and how would you use
handbags?
It would be a handbag,
Yes.
right? And how would you create that value? Is it just like we're going to try to make the most high quality handbag, and you're a marketing genius, because we'll talk a little about the marketing of how you marketed this. We had this conversation at lunch, but about what was your plan on the lifestyle part of this, but what would you do to elevate like that premium best of the best?
I would open stores next door to Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Prada. Wow. I would also...
Because that was perception that it would be...
Yeah, but then I would out-advertise them and out-market them, because you have to build a better mousetrap if you're going into competition with them. So you have to... You're going to be playing on the same field as these guys, so you have to do the same types of things they do. Very high-end fashion shows, tremendous advertising budgets, use the best materials in the world for the handbags, use exotic skins.
It sounds like it's more about marketing and branding than
it is
actually
a lot of it is, but the quality is built into an Hermes bag, for instance, or a Chanel bag. I mean, Chanel just raised all the prices recently. They just decided that they could raise all the prices because there's such a demand. But then one of the marketing ploys is the same ploy the watch companies are using right now.
Scarcity, exclusivity, celebrity branding.
You can't get them. You can't walk into a Rolex store and buy a Rolex watch today. You can't walk into a Patek Philippe. You can't walk into an Hermes and just buy an Hermes handbag.
And then doing a Louis, they make you wait outside, so it looks like there's a lineup, and they are like two people at once, and people think the line is around the block, and people wait in line, and like I kind of be like, oh, I gotta buy now, because like there's only two people in the store. Like it's the way it's genius, the way they the marketing of it, which Tommy Hilfiger is just it's a even the store layout, the way they do the men and women in the store, the layout, it's just fascinating. By the way, is this good? I'm gonna.
I hope you're not bored.
No, man. I could talk to you for hours. Like, if you want to adopt me, I'm there. Like, I'm just there. Like, you know what I mean? I'll work so hard. Me and you, Le Tommy, Le Foxx. I mean, it'd be just great. I just so many ideas.
Who has a few billion to invest in it?
I mean, I have hundreds, but not billions. But with you, we have billions if you adopt me. A couple more questions, because we have even a bigger name than you coming up next because of you. So I always say this, right? If someone takes this sweater or these pants or these shoes and they put their name on there, nobody would buy it. What is it about fashion and as a business concept about how, the building of the brand and how people could take the same clothes, the same material. This is a very comfortable shoe, by the way. I was just making comments back there. But they put their name and nobody would buy it. So having all these years of experience, all these people, they're going to your fashion school of business and you get advice all there. What is it that makes a successful fashion, which is very hard to succeed now? And online now you have a lot of this, the cost per lead, right? If you just take a look at the math, like people have to buy 2 or 3 things, right? And then you have to get your cell phone number, your email to trying to get there, because with the cost per lead of just like, hey, I saw this shirt on Instagram on the ad, I click, you're like $60, $70 a lead. So what is it, if you're giving advice to somebody who wants to start a fashion brand in today's market, competing against the Hilfigers and the Calvin Kleins and the Gaps, the Navys, all these brands, what do they have to do? If you did not have your name and you're starting over brand new, what would you do?
Well, first and foremost, you really need a great product, because the customer is so smart today. They can identify good quality versus not good quality.
But online, it's hard to see. How do you know it's good quality?
Well, that's why online brands sell much better than unbranded, because people know what they're getting.
Bricks and mortars, as you know, it's not. You have the rent, the costs. It's what I mean?
You really need both. You need both, because people still like to touch and feel. But then there are the internet shoppers who know the brand, they know the quality, they know the sizes, they know the fit, and the marketing the marketing muscle is really important because you have to cut through the clutter. There's so much clutter out there. You have to cut through, and I don't even mean just in fashion. I mean, you have to cut through.
Yeah, what's specific though? Like someone has no brand and you're just advising them. How do you cut through?
Well, we cut through using celebrities and using
celebrity branding.
Their social media. Their social media, but you need the marketing muscle.
Marketing is as important, if not more important, at first than the product itself. Although, of course, it has to be a good product.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Is a lot of people they see themselves in fashion as an artist in a way, right? Because it is an artistry skill rather than a marketer.
Well, I think that you need both, as I said before.
Yeah, but they don't have both because they're not taught both. Were you taught marketing in fashion school?
I never went to fashion school, but
Maybe
my instinct was that you had to market. I mean, we used to market our stores as when I was a teenager. We would use a mimeograph machine and print flyers and stand on the street corner and hand flyers out to people. Jeans, $11.99, downstairs in People's Place. I mean, we would market basically word of mouth. But I do a lot of interviews and I do a lot of PR. So the public relations, which is part of the marketing, is very important. And I've always thought that every time you do an interview with somebody, it's like quarters in a bank. Every time you do an interview, every time someone sees the name, anytime someone sees an advertisement, sees somebody wearing it, it's like pennies, nickels, dimes in a bank, because you're building the brand. And ultimately, the brand name has to be powerful. I view a brand as a living thing. It's breathing, and you have to keep nourishing it.
So let me ask you, I don't know if I told you this, but I tried before the pandemic in 17, 18, 19 to have you at my event, obviously just because of the branding aspect and your knowledge of it as well. And it's not like you have an agent per se, and it just, whoever I got, they're like, it's impossible, he doesn't do this, he's always busy. And then I just have had this opportunity. Why did you decide to come here today? You didn't have to, mind you, it's 8 minutes from your house, which is why we're here. It's the only reason, or else we've done it in Miami or something. But why did you decide to do this here today? And why do you like this component of giving back?
Well, first of all, I was impressed with you. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I was impressed with your personality, your knowledge, your drive, and passion for what you do. And look, I think meeting all of you is a benefit to me, because maybe the next time you're in a shopping area and you see a Tommy Hilfiger store, out of curiosity, you'll go in and maybe you'll buy something.
No, they will be forced to buy something, Tommy. That's how we work here. We don't suggest. We push them as well.
But I also love the fact that you offered to donate to my favorite charity.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's
Next for Autism. Friends of ours created this.
Is this the Channel 5? Because yesterday we had the billionaire founder of the Outback who said, and he may be coming later, the guy who runs Channel 5 here, his son, is that the same charity that lives 5 minutes from here as well?
No. This is a charity based out of New York. It's called Next for Autism. And they focus on nurturing and finding placement for autistic adults. Because after an autistic child becomes an adult, where do they go? There are no universities, no schools. Certain homes are very expensive. So this company finds jobs for them as a greeter in a mall, or maybe at Whole Foods bagging groceries, or doing something that these autistic young adults are capable of doing, but wouldn't ordinarily know how to just go out and get a job. So this organization has been amazing.
Do you think that there's a lack of help and charity in raising capital for autism because there's so many other, like children with cancer and Parkinson and all these things that need attention and need research, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, how do you, to someone who doesn't understand, and I think people say to me, until you have an autistic child, you don't know what's it like. It's people say, is it it's because they didn't take the vaccine or because they got the vaccine, and all of these things. Can you explain to us what is it like to have a child that's autistic, and so that we can understand for those who have never experienced that?
Well, there's a spectrum. So we have one son, thank God, who is very, very high functioning and very low on the spectrum. But we've given him a tremendous amount of support from age 1.5, when we first discovered something wasn't right, and we had him tested. And then we have 2 other children in their 20s who didn't get that kind of support because nobody really knew, and my daughter was misdiagnosed for many years. We took her to different specialists. They said, oh, no, it's not autism, it's developmentally delayed. And she's autistic, for sure. And my stepson really didn't have the support because, and in those days, 20-some years ago, people just didn't know. And teachers at school might have thought that they were just slow or not social, not socially functioning. So we have friends who have a 20-something-year-old son who's never spoken one word.
Wow.
Not one word.
That's crazy. Oh, we're gonna, first of all, Tommy signed a lot of shoes, which we'll make available. We'll also give a link to the charity as well. Also, what I'm wearing separately before I go in there, it'll be yours, and Tommy will sign it, and then we'll take a picture in the picture line so that we can raise more, and then some of you will buy me more stuff as well. But Tommy, do we want to make the big announcement that I am officially now a Tommy Hilfiger spokesperson, and in exchange for the spokesperson, I will get free clothes? Is that the announcement you want to make here today, Tommy? Are we prepared to?
I think we could arrange maybe a special item or 2 I could send you.
The discount bin. So first of all, our next guest, which we're before we introduce, is actually a bigger name than Tommy Hilfiger, and I'm going to introduce this person there. And Tommy Hilfiger is the one who decided to bring her here so that we can get more value. But Tommy, I've done a lot of interviews. I have had more fun, more knowledge, and you are 100% outside here the same way there as well. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Hilfiger.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm announcing our deal. That's the picture.
Perfect.
Tommy Hilfiger. By the way, was that great? Tommy, 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 Tommy. Usually I say that for Brady, but you know.